This is how I play the hymn face to face for congregational singing. I'll play it through it first, and then afterwards I'll kind of break it down and show you what I'm doing. So in the right hand, I'm taking what's written in the book and I'm kind of beefing it up and adding some more chords to it. You can play what's written in the book and that's completely fine. I just like to have a little bit more volume. Now what's written in the book would be like... Now what I do is I turn the melody into an octave and I add in some notes in the middle. Now, when I started learning how to do this, I found the best way was to learn the melody first. If your hand is able to play the melody in octaves, that adds a bit more volume. So I would study out the melody and just learn how to do the melody by itself in octaves. And once I got that down, it was a lot easier to add in the middle notes. And if you notice, I'm not playing 4-note chords for every single note of the melody. It's kind of like I set the chord. Well, I'll show you, like face to face. So like I play the chord and then I let the melody, and I play the melody in octaves. Another chord. So you're not using 4 notes for every single chord, because that would be a bit much, unless you like that style. But like I said, learning how to do the whole song in octaves really helps me kind of figure out where my hand is supposed to be. Now, another thing is the rests. Instead of letting the rests just sit empty with nothing in them, I like to put something there. So whether it's like repeating the chord an octave higher or using like an arpeggio, just something to fill in that space. It helps the people singing keep time, and it really lets the I find it lets the piano kind of shine when you're playing for congregation. Let's see, face to face. See, I'm just repeating that same chord, just an octave higher. See it there, I did, instead of repeating the chord, I just did like an octave run and ended on the B flat. So it really just adds a little extra into the music, and it helps people know when to come in. If we were to take, let's take the last line. anything. But it sounds so much better when you add something. Jesus Christ. And sometimes I'll keep it really simple. Sometimes it'll just be that chord repeating itself. Sometimes it'll be an arpeggio. Or sometimes it'll be taking that chord and just using different inversions of it. From the beginning. And I like to switch between different octaves too. So I could be playing in this octave. And then switch. So I find that really adds something to it. Instead of just playing in the same octave the whole time, get creative and use like other octaves. I'm always careful when I get really high up here because it starts to sound tinny. And me personally, I only like that for a small section. If I'm going to play up there, it's going to be real quick, and then I'm going to get way back down to where I'm comfortable. Now in the left hand, that's when things get a little bit different. So for the majority of the time, what I'm doing is like a bass note and then a chord. So bass note, chord, bass note. Occasionally, I'll throw in like an arpeggio just to mix it up a little bit. But most of the time, it's those, and especially on this song, like to me, it's kind of like majestic and triumphant, just like face to face, like. That's not going to be a boring time. Face to face with Christ my Savior, that's going to be a wonderful time. So I like to really amp it up. So it's mostly just bump, dun, like bass note. And the occasional arpeggio. So when you get that mixed with your right hand, if we just did the octaves. Now add the middle notes in your right hand. And sometimes I like to do like an E minor there. So instead of just doing like this E flat chord, I make the G flat. I just like it. From Face to Face. Depending on how long you hold that out, so if you didn't want to play like in those big octaves, let's tame it down a little bit. Sometimes we don't always want to play big and majestic. Sometimes you want to play reflective and more thoughtful. So then I would just go back and use what's primarily written in the hymn book. I'm mostly using arpeggios in the left hand. I don't think I mentioned when it goes to the chorus on Face to Face, instead of just going to, in the book it has, this was what would be written in the book. So that's playing on an F major. So instead of using the F major, I use a C minor there. Face to face I shall behold him. We'll go from the last line of the verse. Jesus Christ who died. And that transition that I'm using there, Jesus Christ who died. So I start on the D and just go down to C. If you wanted to use like a 10th, it would be like, but that is kind of a stretch. Go back to Jesus. Jesus Christ who died. I forgot we're supposed to be doing it softly. We'll go back to that chorus again. So someone actually asked for this song, and I really appreciate that. I love when I get requests. It really helps me know what you guys are thinking and what you want to see. But the same person that requested this one also requested All That Thrills My Soul is Jesus. And the thing with that is I'm always getting these two specific songs mixed up. So even when I'm playing, if I'm not paying attention, I'll start playing Face to Face, and somewhere through the song, I end up playing All That Thrills My Soul is Jesus. It's probably because they're in the same key and they sound kind of similar. So I want to show you how I play the hymn All That Thrills My Soul. This one's going to be a little bit different because, well, I play it in two different styles. Sometimes I do like a Southern gospel style, and other times I do a little bit more reserved, if that's how you would say that. But I'm going to show you the Southern Gospel style. I'll play through it, and then we'll kind of go through what I'm doing. I think probably the most important part is the bass line. So, yeah, in the right hand, you're getting some of that rhythm, like, I don't really know how to explain it other than it's just something you gotta hear. Like you gotta hear the rhythm. It does have a bit of a swing to it. So like if we take the beginning, who can hear the heart? So what I'm doing there, I'm taking the G chord. I'm just kind of rocking back and forth. What's really going to help bring out like that Southern gospel feel is getting the bass notes down. And that's really just like a bass line. And I like turning that bass line into an octave. So I know that's a bit, I'm not going to spend too much time here unless you want me to. If you want to hear more of that style, more of the Southern gospel, and want me to break it down a little bit more, I would be more than happy to do that to the best of my abilities. But there you have it, Face to Face and All That Thrills My Soul. See you next time.